My name is Donna Feazell. I'm your host of The Edge on IC Radio, your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television really easy, channel 182 on Charter Communications, right here local in North Alabama. You can also find us all over the world on Abundance TV out of Cincinnati. And so happy to be part of that team as well. We're found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. So excited to be in the town, I call it a big city, of Albertville, Alabama. I'm with the mayor, Tracy Honea, and I sold you a cell phone a long time ago. It's been many, many years ago. Lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, came back home, and we came back home after about 9 years of being in Charlotte, and I was overwhelmed at the growth of Albertville. What are you doing? It's nice.
Well, it's been nice. We've had certainly a spurt over the last 8 or 9 years of pretty heavy economic growth. So we're proud, and it's just it's been a push from a lot of folks, just willing to roll their sleeves up and work together, and so it's been good.
Well, it seems like a real team effort here. I know with Stan Witherell with the Chamber of Commerce, we'll go by and see Stan a little bit later today, get back with him. But it's just the whole growth effort. It just seems like a community wanting to grow in the right way, and you're doing it in steady growth. That means a lot.
Yeah, we're trying really hard, and a lot of folks have heard me say this, but I mean, we're the biggest city in Marshall County, but the only city that doesn't have a Walmart. So a lot of folks don't realize that because I think it's because Kmart back in the day was the big daddy, 40 plus years ago, and I think Walmart, when they decided to come, they decided to flank, because they're just inside Boaz, just inside Gunnersville. So don't know that that's the true story, but that's what we've been told. So, but from that, and once we came in, our tax base was really struggling with the population that we have. We're 24,000 probably plus, and most of the other cities are less than 10,000. So, we've just been trying to chip away at creating reasons for folks not to have to go to Huntsville or to Gadsden or Birmingham.
And I'm very proud of that.
So it's been a lot of work, but it's been fun.
A lot of new grocery stores and just chains are moving in. I think that's really exciting as well.
It is. It really is. We've finally got a little bit of growth going downtown. So we've got several folks that are from here and some that are not from here that have invested in their businesses downtown, and we're really proud to see some of those folks, and we appreciate all that they do. So if you haven't had a chance to go downtown, you need to check some of those places out. So
really, really nice. I grew up in the day where Hammers was right on the corner, and so I got best dressed in high school, and nobody knew. I spent very little for my clothes, and seconds, irregulars, and that kind of thing. All you'd have to do is use your imagination, put a dart where a hole was or whatever.
That's right. We miss Hammers. They had it all.
Bob Hammer is such a nice guy.
Absolutely. It's a great family. So.
And the Jewel Box.
Jewel Box.
Right over there.
That's a historical building, and our museum board have the city purchased that building back a few years ago, and that board has been phenomenal. If you haven't had a chance to go by the museum, you need to do that. Yeah, but it's really neat, and they're open. I'm not real sure exactly what days, but I think it's Tuesday through Friday. So they're there several hours, I think starting at 9 or 10.
Yeah, I got to make my rounds over there too. Well, Mayor, we are talking to people all over the country, all over the world, basically. So let's encourage them to actually come into Albertville. You know what? Low cost of living. If you have a friend who moved from California into Alabama, sold their house. It was a very small original brick home from the 1960s, sold it for over $1 million, bought a mansion here.
Wow.
You can do that. You can move into here, and we're talking about lower taxes as well.
Yeah, I mean, we do have very low property taxes in comparison to most other states. So, quality of life is another thing that we've really tried to build on, and the city has built a park that covers about 135 acres, and Sand Mountain Park and amphitheater. And so we're, there and we've contracted with a company to manage it, and they've done a good job of doing that. But we have a lot of tournament play, a lot of local, it's basically the rec center stuff, the same as you've always had. But there's lots to do, and so for folks that want to stay healthy, we try to. I mean, that's a goal for us to really try to encourage our residents to and that's been a big shot in the arm from a quality of life aspect. So, and it's not just for Albertville, but this whole community. So.
I know a lot of events. I know Shepherd's Cove, they're one of our sponsors, and the thrift shop just right across the street from the new theater there. And but I know they had a walk, and they do this every single year, and they were so excited they had it at night.
Yeah.
And so they were really excited about the turnout and just the safety. They felt total safety out there as well.
It is. And hospice, obviously, they do an awesome job, and they have a large support and fan base from the community as well. So.
Yeah, I'm one of their big fans. I go out there all the time and talk with them. But now also you have a wonderful city council.
We do.
We all work together. That's great.
We do, and we're our council is got different backgrounds. I mean, we've got some that are in business, and we've got some that's retired, and we've got a good dynamic, and we all, I think we're very fortunate in the sense that we find the common goal. I mean, we all at the end of the day we want Albertville to be a better place, and so we make it a point to work really hard together and make things work. I mean, we've got our public safety folks, our police and fire, and all of our departments in the city. We've got good leadership in those folks, and so it's I grew up here, been here my whole life, but it's been fun watching these departments and just watching things happen and grow. And I've earned a whole new respect for every one of our departments, because it doesn't matter what people's jobs are. We all have those moments where you feel overwhelmed, but I'm really proud of all of our folks within the city.
I think so too, and I know it had to be overwhelming when COVID hit, but you guys just rolled right on with it. I thought that was tremendous.
Well, I mean, we did, but it was we were really in the middle of the construction of the project, and so it was some tough. I met with the architect that did the design on the park yesterday, actually, for a few minutes, and he was discussing. I mean, we had two of the wettest winters we've had on history. When that was going on, we hit right.
I'm thinking about building an ark. How about you?
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, COVID. I mean, it's obviously affected a lot of things, and we're even today, able to blame a lot of stuff on COVID. But I don't know how much longer we'll be able to do that. But it has, it's certainly had an effect on a lot of folks.
But at the end of the day, everybody came together. Churches found ways to worship.
Absolutely.
We just learn to jump those hurdles.
That's right.
And help each other out.
That's it.
We're going to have to go into a commercial break, and we're going to be right back in just a few minutes. You hang in there.
At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of The Edge, found on Channel 182 Charter Communications right here in this area in Marshall County. You can also find us on Abundant TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Oh, it's so good to be here in the city of Albertville today with Mayor Tracy Honea. It's just so good to be with you today. I've heard so many great things about how almost every time I go through Albertville, Highway 431, I'm seeing a new business being erected. I just think it's
Yeah, we're proud. We've got actually a big opening today. Rural King has the way they've been described as if Walmart and Tractor Supply had a baby, it'd be a Rural King.
I can't
So,
wait to go to that.
And it's going to be a really neat and a much needed store and for our area. We've got another grand opening this morning of a pizza. Bootleggers Pizza downtown
Oh,
Albertville.
yeah, I've heard that.
So,
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, so we're very proud, and we do have the theater, 10 Cinema Theater, just opened 2 months ago. I think it 1st of December. So yeah, we've got a few things still in the pipeline.
Well, I think this would be a great place for a headquarters. So if you're watching us right now and you own a business, you're thinking, I want to go somewhere where people are friendly.
Yeah.
In the South, I want to just go to the United States. Maybe you're in England or you're somewhere else right now, but you really would love to open up another business and just be with friendly folks, low crime. There's going to be a little crime that happens everywhere, but I'm talking about compared to other areas. This is a great spot. And I'd like to mention the position where you guys are. You're really close to the big cities if you want to go out on the town sometime, maybe on date night or whatever, and you want to go to Chattanooga, it's just right up the road.
That's right.
You got Birmingham, you got Huntsville just right up there, and
we're
right up smack
literally
down the
an
middle.
hour from Huntsville, roughly an hour from Birmingham, hour and a half Chattanooga, 2.5 hours to Atlanta, 2.5 or so to Nashville. So you're correct. It's a good central location to be in North Alabama to be able to get. So that is good.
And get everywhere.
Yes,
Absolutely.
That's right.
But now I want to talk about shopping local. And this is to our local business folks. I am very pro shopping local, mom and
Absolutely.
pops.
Yeah, we do. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, we've got some of the downtown, but we've got folks, you got Wilkes Tire that's been in business. They celebrated their 70th year last year, and we've got a number of businesses that have been in business for, a long time, and some second generation, third generation. And so we try to encourage everybody to do exactly what you're saying, to shop local and support those folks. And our industry base is another piece of the puzzle that we're really proud of. And because folks didn't have, if they don't have jobs, they can't spend money. So, but we're fortunate to have, I think it's 27 industries inside the city limits of Albertville. Some are a little small, but we've got Mueller is like the fire hydrant.
My dad was the first person they employed there.
Really? Okay.
Retired.
And they've been in business here for since the 70s, and so we've got several strong industry bases. That's
Yeah, just watching that industrial park grow was just phenomenal. And then you had Taco, all these other companies that started coming in.
yeah. We got some automotive suppliers. Mitchell Grocery Distribution has been here
Oh,
for
I used
years.
to love Miss Mitchell's. She had an article that was every, I think, Friday
So,
in the Albertville newspaper you guys have here. And I was a teenager. She was one of my role models.
yeah.
Shirley
It's
Mitchell.
great family. They really are.
Yeah, got a lot of great.
Begin a great year and save big money with these specials at Albertville Foodland Plus. A 5-pound bag of red or gold potatoes only $2.99 each. Warm up with Campbell's Chunky Soup, 2 for $4. Slim down with gold salads, only $2.99 each. And make sure to check out the deli with fresh veggies and tasty pork chops or hand-battered chicken fingers, only $5.99. Check us out on the web at shop.foodlandgrocery.com.
Take a quick break. Thank you for staying with us. We absolutely love being with you. My name is Donna, and we are with The Edge. And so good to be back with the mayor. And we're talking about all the really awesome things that are happening right here in this area, right in our doorway. We don't have to travel far.
That's right. And that's what we're trying to keep people from feeling like they do have to travel. But this is the whole North Alabama region. I mean, you were talking earlier about folks moving in, and we are seeing, a lot of folks from out of state coming into this whole region. And I mean, you've got, beautiful lakes, mountains. There's lots of outdoor activities. Obviously the growth we're seeing great growth in Albertville, but even throughout the county and even the surrounding counties, there's lots of good things going on. So there's awesome, I don't know that there's anywhere any prettier than North Alabama. So,
There's not, because you got the mountains and the water.
absolutely.
Not many people have that luxury. Let's talk about technical jobs.
Mhm.
And so much demand for those tech jobs. And we have some awesome colleges. Sneed State
Absolutely.
and they're really growing as well.
They are, and they're, fixing to, you may have saw where they're fixing to do a new career tech building, and even the high schools, Albertville being one, they're starting a career tech program as well. So there is a huge spin on, jobs and technical skills, and so Sneed is they've got an aviation college at the airport. Albertville has a regional airport, and you get a picture of it over there. But we've got a big 100,000 square feet hangar that we've leased to a company that's going to work really close with Sneed and trying to create some jobs there. They'll be doing aviation maintenance and repair and engineering, and be doing hopefully some Department of Defense work as well. So we're excited to see that. Yeah. So
And you guys actually have a company in this area as well who is a supplier for the Honda company.
that's right.
So, suppliers all over the place.
Yeah, Newman Technology. They've been here since 2012 and employ several hundred folks, and they Honda and Toyota, I think. So yeah, they do an awesome job as well.
Well, your tech industry, and I'm going to tell you, if I were young again, if I were in high school, I'd be walking across the aisle with my high school diploma and also a partial degree.
Yeah,
You can do
absolutely.
that.
You can, and that's, again, there's a huge focus, and I think probably, I know all across the country, jobs are, there are places that are having a hard time finding people to do the jobs, and I think we're probably no different in that aspect, but I think our folks are finding ways to make it work, but I do think there's job opportunities for a lot of different things if folks are looking,
And I'm telling you, high paying. You don't have to have the college debt, none of that. If you decide to go pursue college, you can do that as well. Something that I know about industry, and I used to work for a company called GTE, and what they would do, you could go to college, and you had to keep up a particular grade point average, promise you'd be with them for a particular amount of time, and they would actually do college reimbursement.
Yeah.
So you could still go to college, and just ask Mr. or Mrs. Employer if they'll do that. What are they going to say? No.
That's right.
That won't kill you.
That's right. Especially if there's a commitment there. I think there's a lot of folks that would do that. So
Oh, they love knowing they have employees out there who want to better themselves
absolutely.
as well.
That's exactly right.
And let's talk for a little bit about starting with the company. My husband has a brother, Larry, and Larry was the owner of several businesses. He sold them, got bored, decided to go to work for McDonald's. Well, the whole family was saying, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I just want to prove that you can start at the bottom and go up to the top." So he said, "I just do." He was like in his 50s, and he said, "So I'll pick up a broom and sweep. I just do different things," and he did. He moved up really, really quick with them because he showed initiative.
Yep.
And then he left because he just wanted to prove a point.
That's good. But that's exactly right. I think most employers now, if people show up and do their job and have a good attitude,
Just be there and do your
that's
thing.
it. That's it.
Yeah,
So,
and just and then you have your colleges and also your tech schools are really awesome at this. They will talk with the students about how to act on an interview because when back in my olden day, when I had a job interview, I didn't have a cell phone.
That's right.
There was none of that stuff, no distractions like that. So it's a whole new atmosphere.
it is, and it's there was discussion earlier this week about soft skills and really having to train some of the younger folks, because there's folks in their 20s now that have had these phones for
They were
10
born with
plus
them.
years, and so trying to get some of the young folks to really understand how important it is to look somebody in the eye and shake their hand and have a discussion is difficult for some. There's some that simply had rather text or email, and
I'm still from the olden days. I'd rather pick
I
up the
am
phone
too.
and call you.
I'd rather answer a question on text, not do a dissertation. But that that's as time goes, that's just a generational thing we're just having to deal
We
with.
just have to adapt to
Yeah,
it.
that's right.
And there are so many winning things that can come out of that too.
Yes.
You know, don't be old fogey like I am sometimes.
That's right.
You jump on some of the new stuff because there are ways we can grow our businesses that
Absolutely.
way. I mean, like right here, years ago, back in 2005 when I had my first talk show,
Yeah.
I couldn't have done a remote like this.
Right.
And we had to have a camera guy, and always be good to the camera guy. I learned that real quick.
Yeah,
But there are so many things that we can do to adapt and make life a whole lot better.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that
Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Thank you again so much for letting me come here. I'm just overwhelmed at the growth.
I appreciate you coming and have enjoyed it as well. So.
So how can folks get in your business somewhere and you would like to expand? Maybe you have a headquarters right here in Albertville, Alabama. What would a person need to do?
Gosh, I mean, you're welcome to, obviously we've got a very thriving Chamber of Commerce, Stan and Kathy. But you can pull them up online. You can pull the city of Albertville up online. Sound Mountain Park, Amphitheater. I mean, just to see different things. I mean, those are three ways, and our contact information is online. So my business card has my cell number on it. So
That's pretty confident for a mayor to have a cell phone number on his card.
Well, I just.
You just want to help, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you get. I'd really just deal with things head on, but so I feel like we're pretty easy to get in touch with. But if we can help answer any questions, or if anybody's ever had any interest in coming here, whether it's with business or anything, I mean we're willing to help discuss and do whatever we can to help.
And got a lot of great realtors here too. Also, if you're just looking for a place to retire, this is the spot.
Yeah, it really is. So it's a neat place. We're proud to call it home.
Absolutely. Tracy, thank you so much for being on the show
Thank you,
with us
Donna.
today.
I've enjoyed it.
Fantastic mayor. And you are fantastic too. Thank you so much for watching. We always look forward to seeing you. And we'll be on with in just a few minutes with another awesome guest. You take care. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio in the town of Geraldine, Alabama. Your source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182, on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant TV, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You know what? Tax time is going to be coming up pretty soon. And so we're going to start talking about some of the ways that you can prepare. Really 8 things you need to know about getting your taxes done. I'm showing you a picture right there. This is Rhonda, and she's with Rhonda's Elite Tax Service LLC. This is where I get my taxes done. I mean, I can't tell you what to do, but I'm just saying she has been handling my taxes since 2013 and since we moved back from Charlotte, North Carolina, and she is awesome. She really studies everything out well. She actually works for you. And so she always tries to find the absolute best ways that you can get your taxes done without sending red flags out to the IRS, if you know what I mean. So anyway, Rhonda's an awesome, awesome lady. So here is just some of the things that you need to know about getting your taxes done. End of the year tax tips. That's what we're into right now. So let's go ahead and get started. And I found this through schwab.com. schwab.com, and it pertains to your 2022 taxes. Now, you know, every single year the tax laws change. So you've got to have somebody who does your taxes for you or take care of your books for your business who knows what they're talking about, okay? Again, you don't want any red flags sent to, about your taxes getting done. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started right now with the year coming to a close. We all know how important that is. So right now, let's just go ahead and start talking about how to access your tax planning for 2022. And income tax brackets shifted a little bit. So let's talk about that. We all knew this was going to happen. Anytime you get a new president in, things just start changing and start happening. And there are still 7 tax rates. A lot of folks don't know that. They think there's just one tax rate for everybody or something for the poor and the middle and the rich. No, it's not that. There's actually more. And so, but the income ranges, there's your tax brackets for each rate have shifted slightly to account for inflation. We all know where that's happening, where that's been headed. So for 2022, the following rates and income ranges apply. So this is the tax rate for single filers, and then I'll also tell you about the married couples filing jointly. So 10% tax bracket, and this is from people who earn from 0 to 10,275. This is individual, 10%. And then also married couples filing jointly if the income goes from 0 to $20,550. Again, that's 10%. Now we're going to go up to 37%. So if you're somewhere between, let's say you're a family and it's between 20,551 to 83,550, you're looking at 12%. Most folks are going to fit into that bracket. Now 22% is going to be for a family of $83,551 in income to $178,150. So you're going to be taxed at 22%. Okay, 24% would be $178,151 to $340,100. Again, you're seeing the difference in the income, and the more you make, the more that you're going to be paying in. I love the idea of fair tax. I really, really wish that would happen. Okay, if you're one of those who is lucky to make over $647,851, you're going to be taxed at 37%. Okay, now number 2, the standard deduction increased slightly. Okay, and again, you want a good tax person, okay, somebody who's really into this. You got to be careful not to send out red flags when it comes to getting your taxes done. And we're going to be talking about that shortly. But the standard deduction increased slightly. Now, after an inflation adjustment, the 2022 standard deduction increases to $12,950 for single filers, and married couples filing separately and to $19,400 for single heads of the household. For married couples filing jointly, the standard deduction rises to $25,900. Okay, let's talk about number 3 right here. Itemized deductions remain mostly the same. For most filers, taking the higher standard deduction is more practical and saves the hassle of keeping track of receipts. I'd still keep my receipts. And you need to do this for a long time. It used to be 7 years is what you always heard. But I will just tell you this. When we moved back from Charlotte, North Carolina, actually we had the IRS send us a letter from like over 20 years ago. And luckily, Phil kept everything. When we moved, I said, oh, don't take all that stuff. They only say for 7 years. Well, Phil kept it anyway. I'm glad he didn't listen to me that time, because you know what? I would have been proving to them that we did everything on the up and up. So what happens? We had to send everything in, and they did. They actually sent us a bill for $10,000. They did a guesstimate that we owed around $3,000, but interest and penalties went up to over $10,000. So save everything till you die. And probably beyond that. Tell your kids to save it as well. Okay, so here are the following rules for itemized deductions. They haven't changed much, but they're still worth pointing out. So let's talk about this. Okay, your state and local taxes. Now, the deduction for state and local income taxes, property taxes, real estate taxes is capped at $10,000. Mortgage interest deduction. Now, the mortgage interest deduction is limited to $750,000 if you're in debt. But people who had $1 million of home mortgage debt since December the 16th, 2017 will still be able to deduct the interest on that loan. Okay, your medical expenses. Only medical expenses that exceed 7.5% of adjusted gross income can be deducted in 2022. Again, you've got somebody really good like Rhonda. She already knows about all this, okay? Charitable deductions. The deductions for charitable donations are not as generous as they were in 2021. In 2022, the annual income tax deduction limits for gifts to public charities are 30% for AGI for contributions of non-cash assets. If held more than a year, 60% of AGI for contributions of cash. Keep up with everything that you've deducted. If you've given, and let me just say this, okay, I say commercials a lot of times, and they're big national accounts, and they're showing pitiful pictures of kids, animals, whatever, older folks, whatever. You need to check out and see what the CEO actually makes as an income for this charitable deduction. I believe anybody who's a CEO needs to make a good salary. That's not what I'm saying. But if they're upwards of $1 million a year for their salary, I'm not giving to that. I'm giving local. There was one, it was like an animal, showing some really pitiful dogs and cats. You know how I am? I love animals. It's going to stir me when I see the animal being mistreated, just like kids and anybody else. I almost gave money to it, and I thought, no, let me look, see what the CEO makes. Over $1 million, okay, over $1 million. That would take care of a lot of animals right there. Check with the person you're contributing to and just see how much of that dollar actually goes to the charity. If you're happy with it, go on ahead and donate. If you're not happy, find a local organization like Second Chance Animal Shelter right here. I'm telling you, Doug doesn't make $1 million a year. So if you want to give to a charitable donation to help animals, go to Second Chance, okay? That works. Okay, now IRA contribution limits remain the same, and 401k limits are slightly higher. Let's go ahead and talk about this a little bit. This is number 4. The traditional IRA and Roth contribution limits in 2022 remain the same as the prior year. Now, individuals can contribute up to $6,000 to an IRA, and those age 50 and older also qualify to make an additional $1,000 catch-up contribution. Okay, if you're able to max out your IRA, consider doing so. You may qualify to deduct some or all of your contribution. You need to get with the person who handles your books and your taxes before you, and make sure it's somebody you can trust, okay? Somebody is actually looking out for your welfare. However, the 2022 contribution limits for 401k accounts have increased to $20,500. So if you are age 50 or older, you qualify to make an additional $6,500 catch-up contribution this tax year as well. Okay, number 5, you can save a bit more in your health savings. HSA for 2022, the maximum you can contribute to HSA is $3,650 for an from Now that's up $50 from 2021, and $7,300 for a family, and that's up $100 from last year. People aged 55 and older can also contribute an extra $1,000 catch-up contribution. To be eligible for HSA, you must be enrolled in a high deductible health plan, which usually has lower premiums as well. Learn more about the benefits of the HSA by going to schwab.com. That's schwab.com. Okay, now let's go ahead. Before we go into a commercial break, I've got a couple more I'm going to do. The child tax credit is lower after a 1-year bump. Okay, now what this means is tax credits which reduce the tax you owe dollar for dollar are normally better than deductions, which reduce how much of your income is subject to tax. In 2021, the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA, temporarily enlarged the child tax credit, but in 2022, the credit returns to $2,000 per child age 16 or younger. This credit also is subject to a phase out starting out at $400,000 for joint filers and $200,000 for single filers. For other qualified dependents, you can claim a $500 credit. And don't put the dog and cat in there. I know they're part of the family, but that's not going to count. And if you try it, they're going to come back on you and they're going to find you out, okay? Then you're going to have interest and penalties. So make sure you understand that. Now, number 7, the alternative minimum tax, the AMT, that exemption is higher. So until the AMT exemption enacted by the Tax Cuts and Job Act expires in 2025, the AMT will continue to affect mostly households with incomes over $500,000. For 2022, the AMT exemptions are $75,900 for single filers and $118,100 for married taxpayers filing jointly. Now, the phase-out thresholds are $1,075,800,000 for married taxpayers filing a joint return and $539,900 for all other taxpayers. Now, once your income for the AMT hits the phase-out threshold, your AMT exemption begins to phase out at 25 cents for every dollar over the threshold, okay? Get your tax person to explain this to you as well. Now, number 8, this is going to be the last one. When we come back from the break, I've got something else to talk to you, and that's what are red flags in getting your taxes done? Yeah, we'll talk about that when we come back. But the estate tax exemption is even higher. I love the idea of fair tax. You'll need to really, really do some research on that and go to the people that you have elected and get them to look into it more, okay? Put a little pressure on them. The estate and gift tax exemption, which is indexed to inflation, rises to $12.06 million for 2022, but the now higher exemption is set to expire the year 2025, meaning it could be essentially cut in half at that time if Congress doesn't act. The annual gift exclusion, which allows you to give money to your loved ones each year without incurring any tax liability or using up any of your lifetime estate, and gift tax exemption increases to $16,000 per recipient, up $1,000 from 2021. So if you're thinking about giving your kids some money, you know, that they can go ahead and enjoy before you pass away, make sure your tax person is aware of this. Don't get caught off guard. Now, if you're 72 or older, make sure you've taken your required minimum distribution, the RMD, from your retirement accounts before the end of the year, or else you face a 50% penalty on any undistributed funds because it's your first RMD, which in case you can wait until April 1st, 2023. If you haven't contributed to your retirement accounts lately, now's the time. So review the earnings for the year and take advantage of any deductions that can lower your tax bill. You've got just a few days left before the end of the year. Also, keep an eye on Washington for any last-minute tax changes that can affect your return before you file. Tax season will be here before you know it, and it's never too early to get a start in preparing. You know something? I like to prepare like as soon as January 1st hits. Right now, I'm going to be talking with my tax preparer. Yeah, I'm going to be talking with her. And Rhonda is an awesome lady, and she's not afraid to tell it like it is, okay? So find you someone who's like Rhonda. She's in Boaz, and we'll have the ad running here in just a minute so you can get a little bit more information about her. But Rhonda's Elite Tax Service. You need to check her out. Okay, let's go into a commercial break. We're going to be right back shortly.
Let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC take the burden off you for all your tax needs. I know because Rhonda has been taking care of my business since 2013. I feel Rhonda works for me because she knows the direct questions to ask to better benefit my unique business in order for me to get back the biggest refund possible. Rhonda is an ongoing student, and she knows tax laws are in a constant change every year. Call 256-281-9903 for an appointment to take the dread out of getting your taxes done. Rhonda is located at 11968 U.S. Highway 431 in Boaz. Again, that number is 256-281-9903. And let Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC champion your personal and business taxes. Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales look forward to serving you. And you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Fort Payne and Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by the locations in Fort Payne and Gadsden. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018. We're back. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio. We're a source for news and entertainment. You can also find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, as well as Abundant TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you, Rob, for making all this stuff happen. We definitely appreciate that. Absolutely. So we're all over the world, all over the country. We're all talking about getting the taxes done. We all dread getting that done, but there are some tips that you can have, okay? Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax LLC has been handling my needs since 2013. I won't let anybody touch my stuff, my taxes, but her. She's it. We were talking the first part of the show about 8 things to know to get your taxes done for the year 2022. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you about 23 IRS audit red flags. It's a bunch of them, isn't it? Right? You don't want any red flags happening. And that's the neat thing, too, about talking with Rhonda. I've had some, she'll say, you're completely legal in getting this done. However, you've got enough deductions, so we don't want any red flags going out there. So let's talk about those. What's a red flag? That's going to throw itself out there and manifest, and you just could get yourself into getting audited. So let's just make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, okay? All right. Failing to report all your taxable income, they're going to find you out. I just promise you they will. You know, a lot of folks say, well, I'm really careful what I do with my cell phone.
too late. If you've got an iPhone, they already know everything you're doing. I promise you that right now. The IRS gets copies of all the 1099s and the W-2s you receive, so make sure you report everything that's required income on your return. IRS computers are pretty good at cross-checking the forms with the income shown on your return. Now, a mismatch sends up a red flag and causes the IRS computers to spit out a bill that the IRS will mail to you. These letters don't count as audits for purposes of the IRS audit rate. If you receive a 1099 showing income that isn't yours or listing incorrect income, get the issuer to file a correct form with the IRS. This has happened before to me, okay? And again, the person I worked for gave me the wrong W-2. Okay, so that's what caused the issue. So they had to go back. It was like an act of Congress to get this redone. So they went on ahead and sent the right one out. But just be really careful. As quick as they send you that tax form, your employer sends that tax form, you better check it against your records and make sure everything is okay. The quicker you handle it, and if you'll handle it before you get your taxes done, less of a headache. That's all I can say. Report all income sources to your 1040 return, whether or not you receive a form such as a 1099. For example, you get paid for walking dogs, tutoring, driving, for Uber, or whatever you're doing, giving piano lessons, selling crafts through Etsy. The money you receive is taxable. It is, yeah. Okay, making a lot of money. Okay, while the overall individual audit rates are extremely low, the odds increase significantly if your income goes up, especially if you have business income. Plus, the IRS has been lambasted for putting too much scrutiny on lower income individuals who take refundable tax credits and ignoring wealthy taxpayers. So, partly in response to this criticism, very wealthy individuals are once again on the IRS crosshairs. Maybe they're going to give the rest of us a little bit of a break. And if President Biden gets his way, more upper income individuals will be audited. He wants Congress to give, maybe they need to audit him. He wants Congress to give the IRS billions of dollars over 10 years for the agency to step up its enforcement efforts against wealthy individuals, large corporations, and pass-through entities such as partnerships and LLCs. The Treasury Department says that the president's proposal won't cause audit rates to rise for individuals with income below $400,000. I'm wondering about that. Depends, I think, on, I won't go there. To give the IRS $80 billion over 10 years for enforcement and other activities, but that bill is now stalled in the Senate amid infighting among Democrats. Okay, we're not saying you should try to make less money. Everyone wants to be a millionaire. You just need to understand that the more income shown on your return, the more likely it is the IRS will be knocking on that door. And they're really, really famous for doing that. Okay, taking higher than average deductions. This is where Rhonda comes in, okay? Even though I've had some of my deductions have been, all of them have been true, sometimes she'll say, you know what, you can actually get by without reporting this one because we don't want the IRS to be suspicious. And I'll say, but it's a true deduction. And she'll say, but it's not going to help you out. All it's going to do is put up a red flag, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, taking higher than average deductions, losses, or credits. If the deductions, losses, and credits on your return are large, kind of compared to your income, the IRS may want to take a second look at that return. Taking a big loss from the sale of rental property or other investments can also spike the IRS's curiosity. And ditto for bad debt deductions or worthless stock. But if you have the proper documentation for your deductions, loss, or credit, don't be afraid to claim it. Go ahead and do it. All you got to do is show the paperwork, okay? I keep everything. Every little receipt, everything. We keep it all. So don't ever feel like you have to pay the IRS more taxes than you actually owe, because that makes them suspicious too. Everything's going to make them suspicious. But if it's yours, do it. Absolutely. And I'll tell you something, even gas receipts, like I've done this in the cold rain, okay? I get fuel for the car, and for some reason, it doesn't spit out a receipt. I know it's going to take me a few minutes. I go inside and I say, I didn't get my receipt. And then they give me my receipt because I'm taking that off my taxes. Absolutely, I am. Okay, taking large charitable deductions. We all know that charitable contributions are a great write-off and they help you feel warm and fuzzy inside. However, if your charitable deductions are large compared to your income, it does raise a red flag. Okay, now, donating a conservative or facade easement. Let's talk about this for a minute. We've got about 3 minutes left in this segment. If you've donated a conservative or facade easement to charity, or if you are an investor in a partnership, LLC, or trust that made such a deduction, chances are very good you'll hear from the IRS. Battling abusive syndicated conservative easement deals is a strategic enforcement priority of the tax agency. Revenue agents are targeting promoters, taxpayers, preparers, and advisors. So as a result of the IRS clamping down, there are about 100 syndicated easement cases on the tax court docket right now. Okay, running a business. This is another one. Schedule C is a treasure trove of tax deductions for self-employed people, but it's also a gold mine for the IRS agents who know from experience that self-employed people sometimes claim extensive deductions and don't report all the income. The IRS looks at both higher grossing sole proprietorships and smaller ones. The sole proprietors earning at least $100,000 of gross receipts on Schedule C and cash intensive businesses like taxis, car washes, bars, hair salons, restaurants, and the like have a higher audit risk. Ditto for business owners who report substantial losses on Schedule C, especially if those losses can offset a whole or in part other income reported on the return, such as wages. Okay, claiming rental losses. Let's talk about that for a minute. The passive loss rules usually prevent the deduction of rental real estate losses, but there are two important exceptions. First, if you actively participate in the renting of your property, you can deduct up to $25,000 of loss against your other income. This $25,000 allowance phases out adjusted gross income exceeds $100,000 and disappears entirely once your AGI reaches $150,000. A second exception applies to real estate professionals, gotta hurry, who spend more than 50% of their working hours and over 750 hours each participating in real estate as developers, brokers, landlords, or the like. They can write off those rental losses. So I'm here for you, okay? Anything I find that's going to help you out at tax time, I'm going to tell you about it. You need to go check out and let Rhonda at Rhonda's Elite Tax Service. She's located in Boaz. Before you go down the mountain in Alabama, get her to handle your taxes. You'll not be sorry. And she's going to study it. And also, if she finds something after you've had it done and she finds something when she goes over it again, she'll call you and let you know about that too. You take care. Thank you so much for watching, and you are the apple of my eyeball. I'm always out there looking for you. You take care.
Screwdriver.
Screwdriver.
Pliers.
Pliers.
Phone.
Care can be distracting.
Phone.
That's why our new Whirlpool Smart Range lets you care smarter with control from anywhere. So life doesn't revolve around your range.
Give me that Phillips screwdriver, would you, kiddo?
Every day, care. Whirlpool.
Visit the helpful, knowledgeable staff at Bond's Appliance on Gunner Avenue in Gunnersville.
Since 1943, the Municipal Utilities Board has been meeting utility needs of the citizens of Albertville and surrounding areas. From keeping your home comfortable to providing necessary expansions and supporting industrial and commercial growth, MUB provides the utilities you rely on in your everyday life. Electricity, water, wastewater, all at a reasonable cost. MUB is committed to providing reliable service today and resources tomorrow.
Your local Foodland Market. Your store for everyday low prices and weekly specials with savings on every aisle and friendly customer service throughout the store. We sell only the best USDA inspected meats. Our trained meat cutters offer fresh cut meats to your specification. Our fruits and vegetables are always fresh, quality and variety you deserve every day. Your local Foodland Market, where savings plus service plus selection equals satisfaction.
Shane Vandegrift and the Lake Gunnersville Real Estate Team are proud supporters of the Gunnersville City Schools and Wildcat Athletics. They They encourage you to get out and support your local sports. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home, the best call you can make is Lake Gunnersville Real Estate at 256-582-0112. Visit their informative website, shanev.com. They're your source for real estate in the Lake Gunnersville area. They'll support you through the entire process, just like they support the Wildcats.